Good morning, students. Let's see the continuity of 13th group elements. Okay. So in that we are going to discuss about some important dissimilarities between boron and aluminium. Okay. What are the difference between boron and dissimilarities between boron and aluminium? That is today's topic. Dissimilarities between boron and aluminium. Okay. Boron and aluminium both are belongs to which group? Third A group or 13th group elements. Okay. Now what are the differences between these two elements? Is there any dissimilarities between boron and aluminium? Okay, see this. So why dissimilarities between boron and aluminium? Okay. Size of boron and aluminium is different. Am I right? Aluminium small size when comparing with aluminium, and also ionization or ionization potential or ionization enthalpy both are same. Ionization potential values of boron and aluminium are different. Okay. So due to this they have dissimilarities, some dissimilarities in the properties. Okay. So now what are they? Because of different ionization energies and different sizes of boron and aluminium, they show different properties and different dissimilarities. Okay. So now this is boron and this is aluminium. Boron and aluminium. What is the electronic configuration of boron? 1s2, 2s2, 2p1. Am I right? Why? Because atomic number of boron is 5. Okay. And what about aluminium? Aluminium electronic configuration, atomic number is 13. Okay. 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p1. Okay. Or we can also write this up to 10 means neon, 3s2, 3p1. Okay. This is the electronic configuration of 2s2, 2p1, where 3s2, 3p1. Okay. 13. Atomic number of aluminium is 13. And boron is a non-metal. Boron is a non-metal. What about aluminium? Aluminium is a metal. Aluminium is a metal. And what about boron? Has boron has high melting point, that is 2300 degrees Celsius. Okay, and aluminum has low melting point, that is 660 degrees Celsius. Okay, boron is a bad conductor of heat and electricity, and where it is aluminum is a good electrical and heat conductor. Okay, the general points: it shows allotropy, that is boron shows two types of allotropy. Already we explained that. One is amorphous type, like powder. Amorphous means like powder, amorphous, and another one is crystalline allotropes. These two types of allotropes are shown by boron. Okay, and what about this one here? Aluminium does not shows allotropy. What is allotropy, students? The same element exists in different physical states. Clear? For example, carbon, carbon present in diamond. That same carbon is also exist in graphite also. So carbon element exists two different physical form. So diamond is very hard, which consists carbon. Graphite is smooth and very brittle in nature, like pencil. Am I right? So both compound consist same element but different physical state they exist. Okay, remember that phenomena is called as allotropy here. So like that, boron also shows number of allotrope forms here, majorly in that crystalline allotropes and amorphous allotropes we have. Okay, amorphous means like powder like, crystalline means like salt, remember that. The next one is boron not attacked by dilute HCl, dilute H2SO4. Okay, that means not react with dilute H2SO4 or dilute HCl. Dilute, that means more quantity of water is present. And here in the case of aluminium can react with dilute HCl and also dilute H2SO4. Am I right? Dilute H2SO4. Let's see the corresponding equation. For example, if you take aluminium and treated with dilute H2SO4, it gives aluminium sulfate aluminum sulfate and hydrogen gas is evolved here, remember this. So here it is 3 moles and here it is 2 and here it is 3 moles, okay. 3 to 6 hydrogen, 6 hydrogen, aluminum sulfate. That means dilute H2SO4 can able to interact with aluminum, but in this case it is not possible, okay. So hydrogen gas is evolved or released, remember this. Which gas is released when aluminum interact with acids? Keep this important point, 7th one. Boron can react with concentrated nitric acid and gives H3BO3 or BOH taken thrice, that is orthoboric acid, we call it is orthoboric or boric acid, okay. Let's see the corresponding equation about this. Boron can interact with concentrated HNO3 which gives H3BO3 plus 3 moles of NO2, okay. So this is the equation. So orthoboric acid is released, okay. And what about aluminium? Clear? Aluminium passive with concentrated HNO3, it form Al2O3, we call it is alumina, a thin layer on the surface of aluminum metal. Al2O3 makes the metal inert. Inert means not react or less react, highly stable. So when concentration HNO3 interact with aluminium, so instantly it forms Al2O3 on the surface of aluminium. So now it prevents the further reaction of concentration HNO3 with aluminium. Okay, this is the aluminium rod. So we pour concentration HNO3, immediately Al2O3, aluminum oxide or aluminum formed on the surface of metal as thin layer. Okay, now the concentration HNO3 further unable to interact with this aluminium. Okay, it is inert, the metal becomes inert, that metal unable to interact with concentration HNO3 due to the formation of Al2O3 on its surface. Clear? That is called passive. So instantly it forms concentration HNO3 with aluminum Al2O3 as layer. Now this concentration HNO3 further unable to react with remaining aluminium. So that aluminium becomes inert with concentration HNO3 furtherly. Okay, remember this. So aluminum or gallium also same property, remember this, already we discussed about that. Okay, these 2 points are important here. And next point, boron trichloride is a liquid, but Aluminum trichloride is a solid. Physical states are different here. Both are trihalides. This is consist halogen chlorine, that is also consist chlorine. But here it is liquid state, that is solid state. Remember this. Borates are more stable. Here aluminates are less stable. So let's see some example for borates. Borates. Sodium tetraborate, boron is there. Tetraborate. We call it is borax. Later we will discuss about completely this borax, very very important. This is stable here. Borates we call sodium tetraborate. 10H2O is called as simply borax. So it is borax is very stable here. But here aluminates, for example, we call it is cryolite also. Cryolite. Sodium hexafluoro aluminate. Sodium hexafluoro aluminate. Sodium hexa 6 fluoroaluminate we call it is. It is also called as cryolite, important compound. In the metallurgy it has special role. We will discuss it again. Okay, it is aluminate, less stable when comparing with this one. Okay, and write one more example. Okay. H3BO3 or BOH taken thrice is a weak acid. Weak acid, remember this. And it is monobasic acid. Monobasic acid. Monobasic acid. That means it gives only 1H plus in water. So it is called monobasic acid. And what about AlOH taken thrice? It is clearly amphoteric compound. Amphoteric means amphoteric. AlOH taken thrice act as amphoteric. That means it is act as an acid and also base. Act as acid and also base. Clear? This is only acid, but aluminum hydroxide act as amphoteric in nature. Already we discussed hydroxides of 13th group elements. In that these three are amphoteric. Okay. Maximum covalency of, that means number of covalent bonds. Maximum covalency of boron is 4. Example KBF4. Name of this potassium fluoroborate. So here boron can able to form 4 bonds with 4 fluorines. So maximum covalency is 4 here. Okay. And what about aluminum here? Maximum covalency of aluminum is 6. For example, Na3ElF6, aluminum can able to 6 bonds with 6 fluorines. Remember this, okay? So here the reason here d orbitals of reason for 6 covalence of 6 d orbitals of aluminum involved in the hybridization. Remember this, okay? Already discussed this point about this component initially. And here no d orbitals of boron involved. That is the difference. Why it is tetravalency and why it is hexavalency. Okay? The next one is boron can form more number of hydrides which are covalent and electron deficient compounds. Okay, not stable. That means, for example, B2H6 diborane, B4H10, B10H14. We have the formula here, BnHn plus 6, BnHn plus 6. These are the two types of boranes. Already we discussed about this. Okay, keep 2 in this formula, we get this compound B2H6. Keep 4 here, we get this formula. Okay, keep 10 here, we get this. Okay, so these are the boron hydrides which are electron deficient compounds. Boranes also we call it is. Okay, what about aluminium? Aluminium can form polymeric hydrides like AlH3 taken N, we call it is alane. Okay, this type of hydrides it gives. Remember this. BX3 boron trihalides, you know very well, where X is equals fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine amarite. Okay, where here aluminum trichloride, aluminum tribromide, amarite. These are vapors. These are vapors and trihalides of aluminum amarite. Vapors, and these exist as dimer in non-polar solvents. Non-polar solvents means CCl4, carbon tetrachloride, CCl4. carbon tetrachlorides or ethers like this. Ether is a compound, carbon tetrachloride, hexane, heptane, these are all called as non-polar solvent. In the non-polar solvent, these exist as dimers, that means, and in the vapor, these are vapors. Let's say dimer means, let us take AlCl3, how it is exist as dimer. This is one Al and it is one chlorine and one chlorine, 3 chlorine, okay. Let us take another one and second chlorine, and here 2 AlCl3s, that means 2. These exist as here na. Al2Cl6 is a dimer. Why? Because two same molecules are combined together here and it gives Al2Cl6, so it is a dimer. Okay. So now from chlorine to one coordinate covalent bond here, from this chlorine to one coordinate covalent bond towards aluminum. That means this chlorine donates 2 electrons to aluminum. This chlorine again donates 2 electrons to this aluminum. So here these two bonds are different than other bonds, am I right? These are just covalent, and this one, what about this one? It is clearly coordinate covalent bond. Remember this, coordinate covalent bond. Okay. So that is the difference here. So these are dimer, they can able to form dimer, but this means mono trihalides only. Mono trihalides only. That means exist as BCl3, BF3 only, but this can shows, this molecule can shows back bonding. Already we discussed about this back bonding. What type of back bonding it is? P-pi back bonding for getting stability, already explained. Okay, but no possibility in that back bonding. How they can get stable here in the formation of dimer? There is no dimer possible. They exist as mono trihalides like BCl3 as BCl3 only. There is no B2Cl6. Remember this. Okay. Next one is boron can form covalent compounds only. Covalent compounds only due to high ionization energy. Already discussed about this also. High ionization energy and small size of boron. Okay, remember this. So aluminum can able to form both covalent and electrovalent. Electrovalent means ionic bond. Okay. So what is the difference means covalent ionic? Let's see. This is A and B. There is 2 electrons. Now these 2 electrons belongs to this one, and also these 2 electrons belongs to this atom. Equal sharing. These 2 electrons belongs to this one. These 2 electrons belongs to. That means equal sharing. Am I right? Equal sharing of electrons is called covalent bond. Clear, students? Which bond it is? Covalent bond. So what about, and here their electronegativity. Electronegativity means the tendency of attract the bond pair of electrons towards. Suppose A can able to attract the electrons towards, B can also attract the electrons towards itself. Here equal sharing of electron means electronegativity of A and B almost same, nearly same, almost same. In that case covalent bonds are observed. here boron only such type of covalent bonds are possible. Okay, here covalent bonds also possible and ionic bond is also possible. What is ionic bond here? Suppose the bond takes place between A and B. That bond consists of two electrons. Now A is or B is more electronegative than A. Electronegative difference is there. So B is more electronegative difference means in this case these two electrons moves towards to B only. Okay, listen carefully. In the two electron, one electron from A, one electron from B. Okay, but due to high electronegativity of boron, so that B, it attracts two electrons towards. Okay, these two electrons moves towards to B. That means A lose its own electron, and we can represent this A plus. Why it is A plus? Here A lose its own electron, single electron from A, single electron B. The two electrons towards move B only. Why? Because B is more electronegative. In this manner A lose its own electron. So loss of one electron here from A, we can represent this as A plus cation, and B gain its one electron and one more electron from A. So we can represent B minus. B minus means B gain one electron from A excess. Am I right? In that this electron is its own electron, but this electron is of A only. So now B gain one electron excess. So we can represent B minus. A lose one electron, so it is A plus. Okay, clear? Such type of bond is called as ionic bond. What type of bond we have observed? Ionic bond or electrovalent bond also we call it is electrovalent bond. Okay, clear? So here both possibilities are possible, but here in this case boron compounds mostly covalent bond only, equal sharing of electrons takes place. And next one, boron interact with metals. Magnesium is a metal or not? Metal. It gives borides, magnesium boride. Magnesium borides. We call it simply borides, where it is non-metal, am I right? That means non-metal boron interact with the metals, it can form borides. Okay, clear? So remember this equation. Okay. And what about here? Aluminium can form alloys only. Alloys means combination of two or more metals. For example, rolled gold, we call it is artificial jewelry. Rolled gold, glitters. So it is a combination of copper 98% and aluminium 5%. Rolled gold consists 5% of aluminium and 95% of copper. That mixture is called as rolled gold. Remember this. Okay, here it called is alloy. Alloy of rolled gold means copper and aluminium mixture, alloy. Okay, we have special topic regarding this. I will explain you later. Just keep that exam. Aluminium can able to form alloy, but here both are metal. Remember this. These two are metallic nature. Metals. But here it is metal. It is non-metal. That means boron can able to interact with metals or not? Metals. So this reaction shows that boron is a non-metal or semi-metal also, non-metal, clear? Okay, so in this compound Mg3b2, calculate the oxidation state of boron here. Okay, how many borons here? We have 2 borons, so taken as 2x. Plus how many magnesium? 3 magnesium atoms here. So magnesium always process +2 oxidation state. Now what is the charge here? Magnesium +2. How many magnesiums here? We have 3. So 3 into multiply with +2. So is there any charge on the molecule? No. So equals to 0. So 2x plus 3 is equals to 0. 2x equals to -6. X equals -6/2. That is equals to -3. What is the oxidation state of boron in Mg3b2? -3. Generally boron exhibit +3. Am I right? But in magnesium or metals, it shows in the borides, it shows negative oxidation state. So what is that oxidation state here, students? -3, clear? What is the oxidation state of boron in borides like Mg3b2? In this case, where 2 borons we have, so 2 into x. Why it is 2 into x? 2 borons are present. We have to calculate oxidation state of boron here. Clear? So now magnesium can show +2 oxidation state. Why it is +2 oxidation state? Magnesium belongs to secondary group elements in the periodic table. Am I right? Beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium, radium. These belongs to second group elements. Am I right? So second group elements process mostly +2 oxidation state. That means they can able to lose 2 electrons. Clear? So it is +2 oxidation state. Here we have 3 magnesium atoms. So 3 into 2. Am I right? So totally 6. 2x plus 6 equals 0. Why it is 0? There is no charge on the molecule. Am I right? Either plus or minus. So equals to 0. Sum of the charges equals to 0. Finally, the value of x equals to -3. What is x here? Oxidation state of boron. So clearly it is -3, negative. So initially what we wrote there? +3. Boron exhibit +3. But when it is interact with the highly positive metals like boron, it shows negative charge. Remember this. Very, very important. Okay. So but aluminum can form alloys. Okay. Alloys means combination of metals. Simply. So sometimes it is combined with non-metals like carbon also. Remember this. We have the special topic regarding alloys. And boron can form covalent carbides with carbon carbides, that we call it is boron carbides. Let's see, when boron interact with carbon, it gives boron carbide. 4 borons, 1 carbon. Okay, boron carbides. Boron carbide, which is covalent. Okay. What about aluminium? Aluminium can form aluminium carbide, that is Al4C3, aluminium carbide, which is ionic in nature. It is further hydrolysis. Hydrolysis means addition of water. Addition of water is called as hydrolysis. Addition of water to the compound. It released methane. Methane means the formula CH4. We call it is fire dam. Common name is also here fire dam. Note it down. Methane, AlC3 undergoes hydrolysis. It gives methane. Okay. So aluminum interact with carbon, it gives Al4C3. Why it is Al4C3 carbon? So generally it has 4. Aluminum it is 3. Exchange these charges here like this. That is C3Al4. Okay, C3Al4. Aluminum carbide. Okay, where boron carbide. It is ionic, that is covalent. You should observe very carefully while reading. Why? Because suppose in this case the bit is given like B4C option A and option B Al4C3. Which one is ionic in nature? Which one? Second one is ionic. Such kind of bits we have in the exam. Very, very important. So these are the important dissimilarities between boron and aluminium. Okay, so write the notes properly and practice the bits. Okay, and tomorrow we will discuss about similarities between boron and aluminium and diagonal relationship between boron and silicon also. Okay, so we will discuss on tomorrow. Okay, have a nice day. Write the notes properly. It is very useful to you in our further classes. So this is class as it is intermediate JEE NEET class. You have to follow, then very easy to study intermediate JEE NEET. Okay, and easy to crack the competitive examinations. Okay, remember that. After that topic, we have special study about boron and aluminum, important compounds of boron, important compounds of aluminium. Okay, suppose like borax and what is its use. Okay, what is the structure of borax and diboron? Already we discussed about that. And Bn, boron nitride, it is called inorganic graphite. So we will discuss such kind of compounds in later. Okay, thank you very much.